Part three of the AI-powered playbook series. Today, we're going to be talking about using AI to generate images, and we're going to spend some time inside of ChatGPT4o, four-letter O. Today, we're going to be specifically working with a GPT that was created by OpenAI. This is the one that they use to create images. I feel if you're creating images for the first time, or if you're starting out wanting to get familiar with how image generation in ChatGPT works, this is going to be the best way for you to start. So I'll show you how to get to that. I'll point out to you the things that are going to help you understand how to request images from your AI that will produce the results that you want. So we'll talk about that. And then we will do a live demo like we normally do. And then I'll open up for any questions that people might have. So just to start out, for anyone who might be watching this for the first time, maybe you're new to the series, my name is Michael Damon Campbell, and I'm the owner of We Merge Media. And I'm hosting this series to introduce business owners to the possibilities of things that they can do with AI. I think it's important, especially for those of you who might be solo entrepreneurs, to understand that there are ways for you to get the assistance that you need for an affordable price. Oftentimes, when we're solo business owners, we're trying to do everything, and that leads to us not being able to do much at all. So, with using AI as a partner in your business to do the things that you need to do, you'll notice that you'll be able to get more things done. You might be able to do things that you never thought you'd be able to do before, and it's all because of the assistance of the AI. So this is called the AI-powered playbook for business owners, and it's all about boosting sales and automated marketing. We started with part one, which is where we talked about how do you define your target audience and look at the expertise that you have so that you can make an offer for that target audience. In part two, we talked about using AI to write copy. This is writing the words, the marketing copy, the language, when you read ads and when you read articles and you read blogs, all of that stuff in our world is referred to as copy. So we focused on that in day two, how to use AI for that. And then today on part three, we're going to focus on how do I create images that are going to support the copy that I wrote. So of course, there's, as the saying goes, pictures worth 1,000 words. Words are one thing, but then to give people some visual enhancing of the words by using images or using videos, it'll allow you to be able to convey your points a little deeper. So my experience has been with digital marketing and graphic design. I've been in business for about 20 years. Over those years, I've helped a lot of business owners get started. I have two types of clients who are in their early stages of building their business and they need that foundational help, someone who's patient, who's going to give them the information that they need and educate them through the process so they understand the sales and marketing aspects of their business. And then we have clients who have been in business for a while, have reached that point where they've outgrown doing things all on their own. So they will typically outsource their marketing to us and then we'll manage all of that for them. So there's two types of clients that we typically work with, but I enjoy doing these types of trainings with people who are in the early stages because I like teaching it. And then I also just like giving people as much capacity to do things that they need to do without having to worry about, do I have the money to get this done? I don't want people's dreams to be deferred because they feel that they can't afford to do these sales and marketing things. So AI is going to be a perfect partner for somebody who's a solo entrepreneur, especially if you're a new business owner getting started and you're still trying to understand all these different aspects of the business. This is going to be quite helpful for you using AI. So this framework that we use through this whole series is really just going to follow the same format where I'm going to introduce the topic to you, which I'm about to do next. We're going to switch over and do a live demonstration using AI tools, and then we'll have some fun with some hands-on exercise. I'll ask anybody here in the audience about what they'd like to see or what they'd like me to create, and then we take some time for some Q&A, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. Using AI to generate custom images is what we're talking about today. Now, why would I want to use AI is one of the things we're going to talk about. I've had my own personal experience with the value of using that versus stock images, and we'll talk about that. But what I love about using AI to generate images is that my imagination is not limited. Oftentimes, when you're using stock photography or if you're trying to take your own pictures, It's hard to portray every element of a story that you might be trying to tell. Sometimes you can't find people of a certain ethnic group that you might want to use in your advertising and your images. Maybe there are scenarios that you want to convey that you just simply can't find people doing those things in the way that you want it to be done. An example is that I was writing an article for a women's magazine and I was talking about using AI to simplify your life. And in that magazine, I found an image of, I won't say I found, but I combined two things. I wanted a picture of a woman, 'cause this is a magazine geared towards women, who was relaxing, working out in her, those she sheds, people build like those little shed offices in their backyard. I saw one on a home tour. And I was like, oh, how cool would that be if I combine the image of the like the office in the backyard type thing and relaxing by the pool. So I was able to create that image and just simply typed in show picture of a woman, their demographic was women over 50. So I was able to choose woman type that I want. I described the backyard, that there were a swimming pool and office and like all this stuff. And I was able to generate that. Had I been able to go and try to find a stock image for it, could have been difficult to really convey that. So that's just one of those examples of why I love customizing these photos. The other thing I'll say is when it comes to doing this, you always want to keep in mind what is the purpose of this image and what am I trying to convey? And you'll see what I mean when we start going through our examples. So take some times to do these three things when you're developing your images. First, start by thinking about what is it do I need to convey? So your steps here are to define the visual, clearly articulate the core story you want to convey. In my example that I just talked about, I wanted to convey the ease of life of owning a business and working your business with AI, having time to chill by the pool and work in your backyard. Identify key themes. So I talked about the pool was a key theme I wanted to incorporate. Relaxation was something I wanted to incorporate. I wanted to incorporate the cool office with the glass sliding doors, all that stuff I was able to pull into that image. And then creating a prompt that specifies the desired story and themes for the image. So here's an example. Generate images that depict small business owners successfully using social media management tools, emphasizing themes of efficiency, growth, and community. So the things that the AI are really going to pick up on is that, okay, small business, okay, business related, social media related, efficiency, growth, and community. It's going to pull out those words that you use to describe what you want to help generate the image that you're looking for. And that's why it's good to be descriptive. Next step is what you'll want to do is think about where are these images going to be used. And I gave you a little cheat sheet on the side of the page here because every social media platform has different aspect ratios of what your post might look like. So if you've ever uploaded an image, and I see this often when people will upload an image to their cover on Facebook and it gets cut off. If you've ever experienced that, that's because you chose an image that wasn't formatted for that aspect ratio. The cover image on Facebook is like a wide rectangular horizontal image, but people might upload like a vertical image. And what it does is it just crops it off into a horizontal so it fits. So you want to be mindful about where that image is going to be used. I also see this a lot with profile pictures. So the picture that you use in your profile, I mean, that's in the little circle. You might choose an image that's wide and instead of an image that's square or something that's going to center well when it's cropped into a circle. So aspect ratio is really taking some time to understand, do I want a vertical, horizontal, square? I'll show you how to do that with ChatGPT. It's going to be important because it's going to allow you to be able to create images that can be used in a lot of different ways. So we talked about social media. You might want a graphic image on your website. That's for a banner. Maybe I want to put an image inside of my email. Maybe I want to do an image that's an ad on Instagram, which needs to be square. So I'm always taking in consideration what those aspect ratios are. Okay. Last but not least, you want to think about what image style aligns with my brand. So with our We Merge Media brand, as you saw on the cover, and I described in day two, is I wanted images to use our color tones of purple. We have like this pink color and there's a green color that we use. And then I always wanted each element that we use to have some element of technology. So oftentimes you'll see like maybe little specks of code. You might see some glowing lights. All these are things that I kind of combine into those images. And those for me kind of define our brand style and our brand tone. So I'll talk about that and show you some of those examples too. So make sure you take some time to go through the playbook so that you can see these examples and kind of experiment with these on your own. Here is the last page where we talk about using AI to enhance sales copy. Everything that we've been doing have building up to this point. Everything's meant to build upon the previous. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the benefit of using AI images over stock images. As I talked about, I can customize my images using AI to look the way I want. So this image down below is I wanted an image of a Black man who lived in Arizona. So if you've ever been to Sedona, you might notice those mountains kind of resemble Sedona. I said I wanted him to be working on a computer. I wanted him to have a home with large windows, modern. So like I gave it all those cues and created this image. It would have been difficult, I'm sure, for me to create this image the way that I want. I even made another version of this image where I said, make another version of this image, but it's Christmas and decorate the apartment with Christmas ornaments. So it added like a tree and purple ornaments and all this other stuff. So this is what I love is the customization. That gives you the ability to have unique elements. So sometimes you go to websites and you see stock image that you've probably seen 50 times on a bunch of other websites. This allows you to kind of customize and have something unique. And then last but not least is just having the ability to communicate your main points of your copy, having the ability to convey that. So this is the reason why I often suggest AI images. Not everyone loves AI images, so you have to really take some time to think about what style yours may look like. Think about your audience that you're reaching out to. But I think people see a certain type of AI image and they think all AI images are going to look the same. And you can see mine look quite different than a lot of the other ones that you might see in their illustrative style, or they might look like cartoons. That's an option. It doesn't have to be that. Okay. All right, so let me show you how to get to the GPTs. Again, you can create a ChatGPT account for free. So definitely take advantage of that and do all the things that you can do. If you run out of space or run out of memory, they may say that, okay, you have to upgrade to do more. It's only $20. That's $5 a week. So if you're in business and you have a $20 expense of a assistant that's going to write copy, create images, help you think, to me is worth every penny. But you really can do just about anything with the free version. It's just how much you can do is what's limited. So once you log in, again, you want to make sure that you're on the latest version. So GPT-4o is the one you want to be on. And then what we'll do on the left-hand side of the menu is go to Explore GPTs, okay? So that's going to take you over to the GPT store, and they have it up here, GPTs. You'll know you're there. Here on this page, there's a place for you to search for any type of GPT that you want to use. You can also use these little category menus here. I mentioned yesterday, you can create your own GPT. So you can create your own custom version. I do have a workshop, or I should say a presentation on this June 22nd, where I'm going to be talking about that in detail. But I'll use one that I've created here just to show you how it works, show you the behind the scenes. But then we're going to start our demo using the Dall-E. Dall-E is what they call it. So Dall-E is a image generating GPT that ChatGPT made. It's what they use to give people the ability to see how their image creation tool works. So you can either just, it's usually right here on top. So by ChatGPT, these are all the apps that are made by ChatGPT. And then other ones you'll notice are made by other individual people. So you can make GPTs and make them available to the public so that anybody who's on here can use it. Or I believe only with the paid account, you can make them. So I think you have to have the paid account to make them. That's what it is. And then you can limit it. So like my team at We Merge Media has some exclusive ones that we don't share because those make the things that are our branded tone and style. So we keep those to ourselves. So you can do that for your business. So let's go ahead and dive into the Dall-E GPT. And it's right here, Dall-E. I'm going to click on that. It's just giving you a little bit of background information to explain what it does. And you can say start chat. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out to you before I go into creating anything is think back to what we just talked about with our elements. I talked about the style. So one of the things that was really cool that they did that wasn't here before is they have some shortcuts of all these different artistic styles. So as I hover my cursive over, you can see these little styles here. If I click this little shuffle icon, it'll show me some more. So they try to give you a head start and give you some that you can use if you want to use these styles, or you can create your own. Okay. So cubism is one that's here. If I do that, I have a little box here where I can then describe what it is that I want. The other part here is aspect ratio and they use pixel dimensions. So I've tried that before where I said make it 1900 pixels wide and 20 pixels tall. It doesn't understand that. So they use just simple language, square, widescreen, vertical. I'll share with you personally what I tend to do. Um, I do most things in widescreen because to me that's more image space and I can always crop it down to a square if I want a square. Sometimes I feel limited when I do a square because I'm like, well, I'm just curious, what else would it have put in this image that I may not have seen because I asked for a square image? That's just me. Could be me just being a little weird, but I typically do widescreen and then we'll crop. But don't hesitate to do squares if you want to do squares. Vertical is like a portrait. So like on your phone, you're watching on Instagram or TikTok, they have the reels and your phone is facing up like this. That's vertical. So if I want to create an image that's going to have more vertical real estate that I can use as like a cover image inside of a reel or TikTok, and I would choose vertical. Okay. So just wanted to point that stuff out to you. So let's create an image. Let's start with something really simple. Since I already chose this cubism art style, that's the art style, I'm going to now describe something that I want. So let's say create an image of a woman reading a glowing book. So I basically just kind of gave it a brief description of the image that I have on the cover of the playbook that we're using. Let's just see what it does. I didn't give it a whole lot of detail. So there are some more advanced features in Dall-E that are new that were never existed before. I can't wait to show you the editing options that you have. Before you would create an image, and if it didn't come out right, it is what it is. Since then, in the new version, they allow you to be able to actually edit your image. So if you want to erase something, or try to add something, there's a way that you can do that. So right away, we can see our cubism style. It says here are the cubist style images of a woman reading a glowing book. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to adjust. A lot of people don't know this. I'm going to put y'all up on a little bit of game. So if you put your cursor on here and you click this image, you get to view it larger. But you also get to see more tools here. These tools aren't visible when you're minimizing the other screen. So I can edit this image by hitting the select, and selects is going to allow me to highlight certain parts of the images, and then I can give the AI a prompt to say, make a change. I can save the image, which is going to download it to my computer or my device. And this is one that a lot of people really, really don't know. The little circle with the eye on it is for information. What that one is going to do is going to give you the actual prompt that ChatGPT generated. So remember, I only gave it one sentence, but it went and created a prompt. So sometimes, and I highly recommend you like either keep a Word document or maybe a Google document or something like that. When you find something that you really, really like and you want to be able to create more of them, they say that it'll never create the exact same thing twice. So that's usually why you don't have to worry about someone having the exact same thing you have. Um, Copy the prompt. And then when you go to create another image, tweak the words you want to tweak. So this says a cubist style painting of a woman reading a glowing book. But what if I wanted to make another image, same style, but I wanted a man reading a book? If I were to just copy this prompt, paste it into the window, and then change woman to man, then I'll increase my chances of getting something that looks more similar, and I'll demonstrate that for you. So you can either just hit the Control C or Command C or hit the copy button to copy it and then paste it somewhere where you can keep it and store it. So a lot of people don't know this is here. I wanted to point that out to you. It's something that I use pretty regularly. And then let's click here. So I have two images. It gave me two options to choose from. Let's use some of these more advanced tools that I talked about. Now, this one is new. The editing part is something new. Let's do this. Let's first do the prompt. So let's do the prompt. I'm gonna hit copy. I'm actually want to go back. I don't want to edit these yet. I want to paste the prompt back in the window. So now I didn't have to create a prompt. I can just go use the one that's there. And I can say woman, change that to man. And let's say instead of reading a glowing book, let's say he's watching a glowing tablet. Okay, everywhere I have woman, I may want to just change to man so that it's not confused. I'll say he is seated. His face. Now, if I put this in like Word or Google Doc or something like that, I could just done like a find and replace, um, and just replace those words, but I didn't. Okay. So let's go ahead and just use that same prompt and let's hit enter and let's see what we get. Okay. So not bad, not bad. So here's the images of the man reading the tablet in the cubist format. And here's the images of the woman reading the book. I am satisfied with that. So let's do something here and let me show you the select tool. So if I hit the select tool, I'm going to get, and if you ever worked in Photoshop or anything like that, you might be familiar with like highlighting things. So with the select tool, I have this little selection tool that I can make the circle bigger if I want a bigger selection, or I can make it smaller if I want a smaller selection. I'm going to go big here. And let's say that I want to give the AI a prompt. I wanted to put a clock right here. So I'm going to highlight this selection, come down to my window, add a clock in this section. So when I talked about like customization, you can see how this can really be unique and you can kind of do your own thing with this type of ability. Let's see what it does. So interesting. It says, here's the updated Cubist style image with a clock added in the background, but I don't see a clock. At all. And this is why you need to experiment. So let me just say, I don't see the clock. I'm going to talk to it and it's regenerating. Let's see what it does this time. So this could get fun. And it could also become time consuming, but I've spent a lot of time looking through stock images just to not find anything that I want. So now I can see something in the background here. Change my image because remember, you're not going to get the same exact image twice. And it put something on the wall that resembles a clock. Okay, so I can accept that. I can accept that. So let's say I wanted to let's change our artistic style up and let's say digital art. Over here in the aspect ratio, I want to create a vertical image. So let's do a vertical image. So we have digital art, it inserted a comma, vertical aspect ratio. I can now just start typing from here. So let's say create an image of a retired couple sailing on a lake in the woods. Let's see what we get. So vertical, meaning it should be portrait. I didn't give it any description about the couple age, any ethnicity. Just say retired. Let's see what it translates that as. Okay. So it took cues from retired, and you can see that it gave me some people who were got the grays, They're in the woods. They're on the boat sailing. Actually like the colors. And it's vertical, okay? So if I was to go over here to the prompt and click the little eye, digital art of a retired couple sailing on a lake in the woods. Now, what I want to say about these prompts too, not only are they helpful for you to copy paste, but it helps you see how ChatGPT wants to communicate. Because I look at this and like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to describe that, or I didn't think about that. We talked earlier about colors. You can see the colors are vibrant. The details of the forest are in water are intricate. peaceful moment, warm golden sunset. All these are clues. So don't be afraid to be very descriptive in your images. Let's do an edit and let's see if we can get a good edit this time. So I want to put some birds in the sky. Add a flock of birds in the sky. Let's see what we get. Second fail. No birds. Okay, let me know if there's any adjustments you did. Like, I don't see any birds. So it's interesting. It does that. It did that to us twice where we highlighted. I wonder if something's wrong with the highlighter. Let's see if the regenerated image does it. In a previous, oh, see, look at that. Now, why couldn't you just do that the first time? So as I mentioned, it's not gonna always recreate the same image. So you see our couples different, our woods are different, and there's some birds in the background there. Okay. All right. So we talked about the different art styles. We talked about the aspect ratio. Let's do one where I'm not dictating using their art styles, and I'm gonna use some keywords to kind of describe something that I want. Let's create I'm going to say a widescreen image. So I can use the aspect ratio or I can use the words of a wealthy man swimming in a vault of gold coins. Anybody for bonus points want to know where that visual came from? Somebody know? I bet you Ricardo knows. Cartoon with some ducks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I forgot what the name of the cartoon, but he always used to dive in the dive in
And this
the
vault full of
coins.
coins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It looked kind of like that.
Scrooge McDuck from
Scrooge McDuck. There you go.
DuckTales.
Okay.
DuckTales is what it
Yeah.
was called. All right. So I just gave it some again. So I have my widescreen aspect ratio. I have my gold coins. I put a guy in a suit. I guess it associated the wealth with the suit. There's a little water in there. Let's say change man to a woman wearing a swimsuit. So let's see what happens when we do that. To me, this type of experimentation is always good to do because you can remember every time you're using this, you're training it to do the things that you like or don't like. So if I don't like something, I communicate it. That's why it'll ask you sometimes if there's something you don't like, let me know, because it's trying to understand. So it changed the image from a man to a woman wearing a swimsuit. Let me take it a step further and say, give the woman long red hair and make her dark brown skin. So even though I didn't word that properly, let's see how it interprets it. So next, what we're going to do is we're actually going to upload an image because I want to show you that you can upload images, you can upload documents. If you're doing, I know you mentioned earlier, Sri, someone doing market research, if they have some document they want to upload to take that in consideration with their research, you can do that. So you can add, unable to generate the images due to some technical issues. If you like, you can provide new details or try a different request. Okay. Create an image of an African American woman with long red hair swimming in a vault of silver coins. Switch it up. So a lot of times when you're doing like blog posts, writing articles, one of the things that people do is they try to create captivating images that are going to make people kind of stop and be like, what is this about? And get and click on it to read it. So that's another good way where you can kind of create these things where people at glance are going to be like, what is this? You're stopping the scroll and you're getting their attention. And then it kind of goes from there. So I think there's something wrong. It says I encounter some issues generating the image, provide new details. So you're going to get failures like that sometimes. Typically what I'll either do is refresh or I'll just move on to something else. But I got two errors, plus the fact that when I was trying to edit, I didn't get what I described. So something tells me something's going on there. So let's do something where we're actually uploading an image. I wanted to kind of show you that. I want to try the question that Sharice asked about. So let me just go to my computer and find an image, see what it can do. I'm just going to choose this image here. So use the attached image as wall art inside of a living room. My goal is to show what the art may look like in a real home environment. Furnish the room and show someone sitting on the sofa. So let's see what happens. I've never done this kind of test to actually see if it will place the actual image. So this should be interesting. And sometimes it might take a little bit. Okay, so you can see what it did. It didn't use the exact image, but it did kind of like read it. I'm surprised that the spelling's not terrible because a lot of times the spelling is very, very bad where you can't even make it out. But we have our living room. We have the person sitting on the sofa, which is pretty cool. Let's go here. Here's another version. So not exactly what we want, but kind of cool. You can see what I meant by the numbers down here and the words. So sometimes it misspells things. Now, one thing I would do if I liked this image or if I kind of like this staging, I would I would download this image, bring it into Canva, try to use the magic eraser to either cover this or clear this, or I would put like a rectangular box or something, but I would try to see if I could like layer on top. That could be an idea to try something like that. But this is a good experiment. I like that. I've never tried to do that before, but overall, I think the image that it made itself is pretty cool. Okay, okay. So we've gone through aspect ratios, art styles, attaching images. I want to show you now the GPT that I have. Let's go through that. So this again is something that is more advanced, but I want to at least show you how I create the images that I create. And I may be logged into the wrong account. Let me just switch over real quick because I made this GPT in my personal accounts. So I'm gonna go to GPTs, and on the right-hand side here, it says My GPTs. So here I can see anything that I created. I created one called Holiday Hal, which is where I wanted a GPT that would make like witty holiday marketing captions and email copy. So let's say Father's Day is coming up. Oops, I'm not typing. Create an image about cars and ice cream. So my experiment when I created this GPT was that I wanted to have a GPT that not only would create an image for me, but would also give me some social media captions. So what I would do is have it first write the caption, and then I would say, create let's say, widescreen image to reflect the caption. So now you're starting to see the connection between your copy and creating images. Because what if you were to go into your copy and highlight a paragraph or a couple sentences from the copy that you generated yesterday, put that in here and say, create an image for me based on this copy, and kind of went from there. So this is how you kind of can build upon that. All right. So I didn't read the whole post, but I did ask for, okay, so a joyful scene of a father and his children enjoying ice cream cones next to a classic car or retro style cream stand. The father's wearing sunglasses, so we see that. While the children are excited holding their colorful ice cream cones, the classic car is gleaming in the sun. So everything pretty much is there. It says a charming vintage look with a happy Father's Day banner, which it actually spelled right. So it must be getting smarter. So essentially, if I wanted to go and say, to use Holiday Hal, I'll show you how I made him. I have my holiday caption, so you could create things like this to kind of shorten that work. I could go into to the planner for like Facebook and schedule all my holiday posts out if I wanted to. All right, so let me take you behind the scenes of Holiday How. If I go in here and I say edit GPT, you'll see where it's been configured. So once you have the paid account, you can create your own GPTs, and the ChatGPT will actually help you do it. You can give it a name, you can give it a description. So the description it shows here. And then here in the instruction section is where you can tell it what to do when you prompt it. So I said Holiday House, a holiday marketing GPT specializing in creating humorous, industry-specific social media captions. So I made that because I wanted it to um, share with clients to be able to make something that was themed for their industry. I gave it a link to the nationaltoday.com calendar so they can see all the different holidays that are available out there. I said to deliver social media captions. I also have it, let's see, make them funny. So all that stuff is there. Okay. Here is the image that I uploaded. I uploaded a PDF of the calendars. And when you build these, you can say, does this GPT have the ability to browse the web? Yes, it can create images. So I configured this to be able to do all these things. Let me go back and show you the other GPT that I used to make the images that you saw on the ebook. Let's go here, edit. Okay. So this one here, you can see that I called it Upskill AI and gave it some instructions. But when I was experimenting with it, it made some very, very cool images that I actually attached as references. So this is why I'm able to kind of consistently get a certain look and feel. This is what I use on the table of contents. This is how I was able to do that by giving it reference points to use. So let's go use Upskilled AI and let's say create an image of a group of people attending a virtual training about generating images with AI. Okay. I misspelled create, but let's see what it does. And then before we come out of here, we have about 8 minutes left. Let me know if somebody wants to see something and I'll create them for them before we open up Q&A. So this, you can see some of my elements as I talked about. I configured this GPT to use purple LED lighting. So we can see that there's shades of purple LED lighting here in different places. I told it to always incorporate green plant life. So you'll see the plants in different places. I also said that I always wanted big natural lighting in the windows. So you'll see that too. So I could take this further and play around and kind of change this if I wanted to. Let's just try one more time to editing to see if we get a good edit option. I'm going to highlight this screen, show a newscaster um, wearing a green suit. Let's see if we might have some success before we exit. Ideally, you should be able to highlight the section of the image, give it a prompt, and it'll change that part of the image. That's what it should do. I have used it successfully before, but not today. I didn't try earlier. Okay, not the best, but you can see what I mean by it's able to kind of just change the section that you highlighted. So that's essentially what that tool will do. You can edit or select, I should say, highlight the section that you want, and then you're going to be able to give it a prompt. Okay. If I don't like it, there's a little thumbs down here where I can say bad response. And then it asks you to tell us a little bit more about why it's a bad response. And that's so that you can train it so that it does better next time. Y'all gonna be blown away because I know I was blown away. So they're making it so that ChatGPT will be able to do video from text. And the version that they show, they made all these different videos. I believe it can do up to 1 minute of video. So for the examples that are going to be on here, what they show you is what the prompt was and what the result was. So here, this video of this woman walking, it says the prompt is a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon, animated by city signage. So the idea is that you would literally just copy this text, put it in the same way you're making those images, and you would get a video like this. Here's another example of some woolly mammoths approaching a snowy meadow. And these were, according to them, created with the technology. It's just not publicly out to us yet. Last thing I heard, they're actually working with filmmakers and studios to kind of like help work with them to develop this technology. But I think it's just a way to kind of be like, hey, here's your chance to partner with us before we kind of take over. So what's interesting to me, this is a movie trailer featuring adventures of a 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red wool knitted motorcycle helmet. So this is what the AI created from that prompt. So you can see some of the things that we talked about. You can see the artistic style. All these have kind of like a different artistic style. Okay, here's some of those ones that we looked at before. Animation looks like a Pixar movie. This one looked so real when I first saw it. And the prompt is a young man at his 20s, sitting on a piece of a cloud in the sky reading a book. Well, thank you all. Thank you for joining, and hope you found something that's going to be useful and helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reply to any of those emails that I posted out. For those of you who have the VIP, I have the link ready for you to join our group coaching space. So I'll send that out via email so that you can get inside of there. And then after this is over, you'll have 30 days of support inside of there. So I can help you through some of these things.